Sorry, can you repeat the question? Well, they say the universe has no beginning and no end, only inseparable motion, cycling continuously in waves. And yet, the complexity of our existence becomes subject to contradiction. When motions are deemed erratic, out of sync, they are cut from the mass. Time, place, perception, they all become the same thing. They always were. A heterotopia is simply a place or even activity that is placed outside of society, away from its norms. They constitute worlds within worlds. They are other and upsetting. Well, during, or rather on our way to one of the site visits, one of the early on ones, 3 of us found ourselves locked in a car, down underground in the car park. We were headed to Ulleråker to observe and discuss the history and what to do with it. Who would get to know what of it and how? So we get into the car, close the doors lock, turn the key into its electrical system, but the car wouldn't start. Something was wrong, and it wouldn't even unlock the doors. We tried to get out. Yeah, we really tried to get out. We called on the phone for help to this person and then that one. But it's not like they didn't care. But anyway, they just shuffled us along to the next person and then the next person. I slowed my breath and remained calm, taking it just by logic. We were locked in a car, only windows apart from our companions who had left their own car to see why we hadn't even left the parking space yet. Talking it through, keeping it calm, a few laughs. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it was getting warm. So, without thinking, I reached to open the window. Of course, the window wouldn't open. Nothing was working. And then I felt it. That thing called panic. It had awakened to attention. I didn't realize it was already there somewhere inside, waiting to have its way. So what would I do? I would just have to go to sleep. Or maybe, what would happen if I broke the window? Would it really come to that? We were locked in a car. We were locked in. And we really wanted out. By the time I arrived, the gatekeeper's house had long been a fast food kiosk, and sometime during the study was torn down completely. It's always striking to stand on a spot of erasure. The rhizome is a branching network in which every point can be connected to every other one, and every point is also a potential site of renewal, a plexus. Now, since any point in a rhizome can be connected to any other through space, the same can be said for this connection through time. This largely points to principles 1 and 2 of the rhizome, connection and heterogeneity. Then we have multiplicity, an A signifying rupture, with which I'm particularly fascinated, cartography, and decalcomania. They define that as more of a map rather than a tracing. Water therapy was meant as a form of healing. During my visits, when imagining a body submerged within the tub and sealed in, I kept thinking of the story of the Zen master. When pouring a cup of tea for a visiting student, he allowed the tea to pour over the brim and onto the table and floor. When the student protested and asked why, the Zen master responded that the cup was like the full and closed mind, which had to be emptied before any new thoughts could enter. As I thought of the story, I wondered, what was being emptied here? In this tub? At this site? What renewal is taking place? The great tower falls so that it might be built again. Well, I could never really claim to know someone else's history. And the scope of this project as a whole? Well, no, it shouldn't suffice to be a historical tourist. You have to give something. History can be mediated by sound. They're both constantly in flux, always changing. And subject to experience.